Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I want to start off by saying thank you to all of our Booster Club members for your many donations and much more, your prayers. We visited faraway countries and strange lands. We've even spoken to dignitaries and were detained for spreading the glorious gospel in Cuba. The truth is that the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel were scattered throughout the world. Help us on our journey as we continue to raise up the nation of Israel. 12 tribes worldwide. Join or donate today. Shalom.
Do you know, like, because you know the image that you have on your neck there, right?
Yeah.
That symbolizes 5%, right?
Yeah. Well, we say our law is 5% because anybody can be a 5%.
I got you. I'm well familiar with it.
Okay,
you know
cool.
what I'm saying? You know, basically it means the gods of the earth.
Hey, what's going on, man? Say, what's your name? I just talked to you, but what's your name again? L. Hey, what's going on, L? So, that's simple, L. That's simple, right? What do you know about that? It's a universal flag of Islam. Okay. What, you know around when it started? 1964. What city? New York. New York, Harlem, right? Okay. Now, the main branch that comes from, right? Came from Islam, in other words, right? Now, we just brought out about Christ, for example, right? What religion, or what did he follow? I'm gonna say it like that. What did he follow? What did he teach? Let me ask that.
Freedom, justice, and equality.
Okay, but what was his main quota, I guess you could say? Was it Islam?
Freedom, justice, and equality? That is Islam.
No. I'm gonna tell you something. Islam, that's a new religion. That's a new religion.
What?
Right?
Islam?
Islam is a very new religion.
Well, we don't look at it as religion. So I don't really know the religious aspect of Islam. We see that
how about
Islam
this?
is a natural way of life.
All right, how about this? That's a new natural way of life. That's what it is. Islam initially started in 622 AD, right? Over time, just like Christianity, it had got a lot of branches that came off of it. You got Nation of Islam, you got 5% Nation, right? You got a lot of that stuff that started to come out. But then the question is, how did we begin to learn these things in the first place? Or why did we start to adopt some of these things in the first place, right? I'm going to show you something real quick. I want Habakkuk 2:18. All right, give me that real quick. I'm going to show you something. Just follow with me. Y'all follow with me too.
Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof have graven it?
Now, when our brothers, for example, like I'm going to ask a question. What's your name, my man, again? Khalil. When you see that image right there, what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
I mean, to me, it just looks like a star.
You say it just looks like a star? Okay, what about you, my man?
I think of a synagogue when I see that.
You say you think of a synagogue?
I just see the shape when I think of a synagogue.
Okay, does the Bible enter your mind when you see that?
It's not off the top of my head.
Okay.
If you explain what it means, then yes.
Okay, now, all right, so you explain what it means and not off the top of your head. So, with the reason for that image right there, would that go anything towards the commandments of God? Let me just ask.
What y'all practice, I ain't really all that familiar with. So
I got you.
When he came and stopped me, I said, let me see what these brothers teach you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm just trying to get you familiar with what we're bringing out. But go ahead.
It represents the original family of the universe. The stars. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm gonna tell you something. Real quick. You said the original family of the universe, right?
Right.
The original family, or the original people, I guess you could say. Let's start with Adam and Eve. They was told to keep the commandments of God.
Right.
At the very beginning. And Adam, he was a God upon earth.
Right.
But guess why he started to die? Because he broke that by following after his woman.
Right.
Right? But they were starting to keep the commandments of God. I want you to stay with the graven image real quick. I want to deal with that. Then we're going to touch on the Adam and Eve thing I just mentioned. So hit that real quick.
What profiteth the graven image? image.
So what's the profit of the graven image, in other words, right? Go ahead.
That the maker thereof have graven it.
So what's the reason why the maker had made the graven images, right? Go ahead.
The molten image and a teacher of lies.
So that's the part right there. The teacher of lies. But no, now, inside of your natural way of life, what is your commandments, I guess you can say? Do y'all have any commandments or laws that y'all follow?
I mean, yeah, but you know,
like, give me some.
Understanding, culture, freedom, power, requirement, God,
well, give me some. I'm saying, like, I'm dealing with you. Like, give me some.
Yeah, the Lord directed every man right. You know what I'm saying? God really knows special, man. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, power. Cultural freedom, power, refinement.
Well, what about this? What about this? How does someone like me get wisdom then? Let me ask you like that.
You get wisdom by first obtaining knowledge. And when you obtain the knowledge, you put the knowledge to use. That's the wisdom.
What you talking about, Willis?
Okay, let me show you. This is how you actually get wisdom. Now, I'm going to use out of this because it says, as it is written, that every man may be a liar. I'm going to justify my words by the Bible. All right? Give me this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
So now, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, right? Now, I have a little bit of studies behind the 5% Nation of Islam and whatnot, right? It doesn't teach anywhere in there about following the commandments of God. That's why when that image gets pushed out, and then, for example, like brothers, they're not really sure. They start to see it, but then the God ain't the first thing inside of their mind. It's a teacher of lies.
Well,
that's what it is, and it was taught to us.
I guess they should understand it because we taught that.
Nah, it's real.
You saying you familiar with the teaching, so
it's real.
You know what we teach, and you know we don't teach that God is outside of ourselves.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So, all right. Well, the God of the Bible, what does He require of you? Does He require that you actually have that?
Well, I ain't really familiar with your God. You know
well, I'm reading it right now. Give me back to Habakkuk 2:18. This is what God requires, right? Because if God is a part of you, for example, which He should, you're of the tribe of the nation of Israel. This is what He had commanded us. Go ahead.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 18. What profiteth the graven image?
So what's the profit of the graven image, right? Now, a lot of it is usually silver and gold, but it also goes into wood. That we read that earlier in Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. Read.
That the maker thereof have graven it.
Go ahead.
The molten image. And a teacher of lies.
Right, because behind each image, each graven image or any other ideology outside of what the laws of God said, there's a teaching behind that that's against what God said for us to do. Go ahead.
That the maker of his work trusteth therein.
So now the maker of his work trusts it, and the followers of that graven image also trust inside the teachings behind that graven image. So for for Christians, it's the cross. For 5%ers, it's what you got on your neck right there. 7 with the salt, right? A lot of other religions have different images, and they all trust behind the teachings behind that main image. But God said differently. He said, I want you to keep my commandments. I didn't give you any religion. I said, keep my laws, do this, don't do that. Go ahead.
To make dumb idols.
To make dumb idols, because the teaching behind it does not profit all of our people. The reason why we brain dead is because we don't keep God's commandments in the first place. And we try to cleave onto everything that has nothing to do with the Bible all the time. Read.
Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake.
So now it said, woe or destruction unto him that says unto the what?
To the wood.
Unto the wood, what?
Awake.
So he said, okay, unto the wood, this is going to be what I follow. This right here is what's going to save me and my people out of captivity. That's what he's saying. Awake. That's what he's saying there. But again, these teachings were actually brought to us and taught us, right, against what the Bible said, even if we started it.
Hey, I'm going to say this and I got to hear this story. I heard you say something earlier about the Bible being like 16, King James 1611, you said earlier?
It was authorized by King James in 1611.
Okay, so what was the actual year?
Okay, it was always written. It was because Bible, all it is a collection of books, right? It was rolls or scrolls. It says in here also, and it was a collection of books. Isaiah, like you know how when we started off, book of Isaiah, book of Genesis, book, so on and so forth. All the Bible is a collection of those books. Give me the Donovan Bible Dictionary real quick. Let me show him. Give me that right there. Give me that right there. All King James did, and I want you to give me a Psalm 68:11. All King James did was this. I'm going to show you real quick, and then I'm going to let you go on and do your thing. All right? Give me that.
King James Version. 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars.
So now, King James, around this time, right, around this era, there was this thing called the gunpowder plot. right? That's when the Catholics and the upper echelon of the religious leaders during the time when he was reigning didn't want the people to learn the Bible at all. So this is what they did. You know, the Catholics, they have the confession booths, right? Where the priest, or what they call him, the father, they used to tell them that, but they didn't want them to read, they didn't want the regular people to read the Bible. They wanted to hold those people's confessions, so that way they can have control over the masses of the people. So this is what King James did. He said, you know what, no. I want the people to learn the Bible as it is written, not based off of what another man says, or just by rumor, but what they actually learned, right? So this is what he did. He had gathered what?
The best Hebrew and Greek scholars. 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day were divided.
So now 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars, because originally it was written in Hebrew and Greek. There were divisions in the languages, right? Go ahead.
Into 6 groups. 3 for the Old Testament.
3 for the Old.
2 for the New.
2 for the New.
And 1 for the Apocrypha.
And 1 for the Apocrypha. That's what you see right here. That 1 for the Apocrypha. This was originally put in there, but the Protestants in the 1700s took this out because it has pertinent information to show you and tell you who you are. Come on.
2 of the groups met at Oxford, 2 at Cambridge.
So now hold that real quick. Give me Psalm 68 and 11.
Psalm chapter 68, verse 11.
So now, again, this is all the collection, because 47 of those best, well, this right here, this is King James Apocrypha. Right there. All right. So now, when he had gathered those groups, right, he had gathered them with the scrolls. So that way they can combine them and authorize them and call it the Bible, or in other words, a collection of books, right? But this was prophecy about what those men would do. Read.
The Lord gave the word.
The Lord gave the word to the initial prophets of each of the books or the scrolls. But go ahead.
Great was the company.
Great was the company, meaning 47 of those best Hebrew and Greek scholars. Go ahead.
Of those that published it.
And that published it. And usually publication can come by 2 ways. Either by you, like literally writing it out, or you authorize something that was already printed.
Right.
That was the great prophet. That was a great company that he had.
Right.
King James and the 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars.
Right.
Now go, give me that. Give me that again. Yeah, I'm not done with that. Come on.
We said when a group completed its task, its work was submitted to 12 men.
So now, outside of those 47, it was submitted to 12 other guys. Go ahead.
From each panel, final differences of opinion were settled at general meetings of each company. In cases of special difficulty.
And so now, when there were certain things that was hard to be translated from the original Hebrew, or when it was Greek, they took it to other men that were learned men. Go ahead.
Learned men outside the board of advisors was consulted.
So now they went to extra wise men, more wise than themselves, to consult about how to properly get it from Hebrew or Greek to the other languages that will be scattered in. Here's the proof in prophecy. Give me Isaiah 28 and 11. This is how it was written. This is how it was written. Hey, make sure that you actually read, or like the officer has said, give us a call. All right? Got a lot of information. This is only like scratching the surface. This is only to teach you who you are, but there's much more. There's change that's coming to it too, as well for you, my brother. All right? I want you to listen to that scripture, then I'm going to get a commandment.
Isaiah 28 verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue.
So with stammering lips and another tongue. Our original language was Hebrew, right? But then, over the process of time of us being conquered, brought to different nations, and then now we had to learn their languages. Whether it was English, which is another nation's language, Spanish, Greek actually is another nation's language, all of that. He said, in another tongue will what?
Will he speak to this people?
AKA, what we got here, the Bible, King James Version, written in English. And to the Spanish, it's in Spanish. But it was always written. But King James in 1611 authorized a publication of this version here when the 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars combined it. That's what happened there, right? But this is our job. So you got me? Yeah. Give me Numbers 15:38. And you know your nationality. The brother that went over it, right?
Talking about Judah.
Right, Judah. And you understand the standpoint behind the idol?
Yes.
Right. All right. So now. Now it's really the star.
You know what I'm saying?
It's really the star. The chain itself is fine. The star is what it is.
This right here.
What's that thing in Amos 5?
Navigation
Star
system
moving.
right here. This is the universe. This is a navigation system, and even the different colors represent. But this is the star representing the child. This is the crescent moon representing the woman. And
I'm gonna show you something. Which is heavy, right? There's nothing wrong with navigation, so on and so forth, right? But what makes it different is the fact that in particular does represent what other brothers and sisters follow as far as doctrine, right? That's the reason. That's what I'm bringing out so far. You with me?
I mean, I'm not against what you're saying, but you know, as far as my way of life, man, everything that we practice, any man can practice, whether you belong to religion.
Likewise.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, actually, let me put it like this.
And by you know, the knowledge you was just giving out right then, even then, what they was doing when they got with those, the scholars got together and they said they took it to 12 men, they was doing the knowledge. And the knowledge came before they were.
The knowledge was always here. The knowledge was always, yeah, but I got you. The knowledge was always here.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
and it was the commandments. Hey, yeah, matter of fact, you have the precept of knowledge? Give me that.
Malachi chapter 2 verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
So right, they should keep knowledge, right? And this is what knowledge. Read.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
And they should seek the law at his mouth. The law that he's talking about here is the laws that's written inside this book. They've always been here. But when I had mentioned earlier that Islam, because there's a lot of little different branches of it now, right? Which is what that's a part of. That's a new thing. This has always been here. No, it hasn't. It was new. Give me what is it? Give me that Babylon Timbuktu.
bring it up!
Huh? No, not yet. Give me this. It hasn't always been here. It's new. This is how it started, right here. What I'm about to read is how it started.
I let them say that Islam at the beginning.
I'm gonna show you something. It's always, listen, that is new, because it was interrogated. I'm gonna read it right here. Give me that. Yeah, start with the pink.
This is from Babylon to Timbuktu. Page 45. After Muhammad became a camel driver.
So now you're familiar with Muhammad. Right. Now he's not a prophet, but
They call him the prophet.
yeah, okay, I agree with you on that. They call him a prophet. But is he actually a prophet? No, he wasn't, because start up right here when it says here, Muhammad, and then read the underlined part.
Okay. Muhammad was born AD 570.
Now in his youth, read that.
In his youth, he was never taught to read and write.
Right, and all of the prophets, they were taught to read and write because they published the books that we're reading out of now. Right. And this is what Muhammad did. Read that.
After Muhammad became a camel driver, he traveled to remote and intriguing lands. He led his caravan to Persia, Syria, and Egypt.
Now, these are all places that the Israelites were scattered at the time, right? But come on.
Transacting businesses with merchants of every kind. On his business trip, he met Jews.
So now this is at the beginning. This is before Islam came about, right? He met Jews on his trips when he was traveling around, right? Okay, go ahead.
Christians and members of other sects. He interrogated them concerning the tenets of their religion.
Right, he interrogated them about what is it that they believe in. This is before Islam, before 622 AD. Now jump down to that highlighted part, Muhammad.
Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion.
So he learned and then extracted much from what the Jews believed in, right? He said, I like what they talk about more than all these other jokers out here. Let me take a lot of what they're talking about and put it towards what I have, which is what?
And compounded it with his new religion, Islam.
And he compounded it with his new religion, Islam. Thus, 622 AD came about, and then they started to kill off some of us who didn't want to follow after Islam. After the process of time, it branched off into different little denominations. Some 5%ers, some Nation of Islam, some the actual Islam, some Shiite. Yeah, here we go. Go to the next page. Let me see what they say right here. No, I want the other. Read that.
Islam and Judaism. The Prophet Muhammad adopted many principles, laws from the Jewish religion.
So he adopted many principles from the Jewish religion, which is actually our religion, Jew. The commandments of God. And it also happened here, look, this is later on in time, when they start to hang us, beat us, because we won't follow after what they said for us to do. And this is the beginning of that thing. Over time, it branched off into denominations like Christianity did. It's the same. I'm telling you, it's the same thing.
But we don't practice Islam as a religion. We practice as a natural way of life. We talk that Islam, the earth is the home of Islam.
Hey, I'll tell you this. With Christianity, Calvinists, they like to follow after what they call the fathers, which has nothing to do with the Bible. It's just other little white guys, right? But they also feel like that they don't go wholly into what they say what the Christians do too. Almost similar to how the 5%ers do with Islam. It's the same thing.
They really in and out, and they really ain't some good individuals, you know what I'm saying? But you got some people out here that, ain't claiming to be a part of this.
Hey, give me Romans 7.
And
like, what's going on, brother?
Before I leave, like, what are the laws y'all teaching that help a man be a better person? That's
bring it up.
Yeah, all praise to God. We're gonna get that, but we're gonna get that real quick, so we can get that for him real quick. We're going to okay, good. But real quick, do you know, like, because you know the image that you have on your neck there, right?
Yeah.
That symbolizes 5%, right?
Well, we say our law is 5% because anybody can be a 5%.
I got you. I'm well familiar with it.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? You know, basically it means the gods of the earth.
Yeah,
that's what it's going into.
And you know, we were talking about it earlier, and we were saying, I was telling them that this represents the original family of the universe. And even if I take it off, you know what I'm saying, I still represent it because you got the sun, moon, and star. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's the thing about it. Like, well, do you know who the founder of the 5%ers are?
Allah 5%. Talking about Allah 5%.
Yeah.
The Father.
The Father who? But who founded? Who brought that?
We don't say Clarence X. You know what I'm saying? We say
Clarence 13th to X. Right.
Allah.
Right. That's the answer you call it.
When you say Clarence X, then you talk about like people living before.
No, 13X.
When you say that, you talk about somebody that was a part of the Muslims.
Right. Well, that's
he came here. We call him.
He was heavily influenced that in Harlem, New York.
Yeah.
And you know what year, right? What's that?
1964.
1964, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's good. But now the thing is that like what the officer is bringing out is before all of that, we were all only known as Israelites.
Right.
That's who we were. Like you get the Moors. You heard about the Moors. I know you know about that, right? But what do Moor really mean?
Well, the way I thought it was meant to mean black.
But that's right. You're right. It's 100%. It means black.
Right.
But before that, give me a song, real quick. But see, that's what we're trying to prove. We're trying to prove that through the Bible, the original people, all right, the gods of the earth, were Israel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it was through doctrines of us going through the transatlantic slave trade, that the things that we picked up because we didn't want to keep God's laws in this land. And so we had to move about. The Most High moved us out of our lands, and going through the various different continents and countries, we adopted a lot of different doctrines. You know what I'm saying? Because we had to adapt to something that was close to us. You know, like even like when you look at the Native Americans, they don't even hold themselves to be Israel. And it clearly shows that. We could go to a law that talks about these here, which is fringes. And the Native Americans, that's part of their culture. You see what I'm saying? They had to adopt to something different. Now they got their own gods. You see what I'm saying? And so likewise happened to us, which is the Southern Kingdom. We adopted to our own gods. You see what I'm saying? Because we broke off. Because the Most High God said, I don't want to have nothing else to do with y'all right now. I'm going to send y'all away for a dispensation of time, and then I will come back when you get your minds right. You see what I'm saying? Right. To read that.
The Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Verse 5. I am black.
You said what?
I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar.
You see that? So for Solomon himself, he even said that he was black. We gotta, give me some more. We got a whole lot of scriptures that goes into the color of who we were.
With you on that because you know that's what I was telling the brother.
Right.
I don't think he'll be now. My man right
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
We taught that you know black people are the cause of Muslim civilization. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is that we're trying to prove to you that
Israel.
Yeah, exactly. The Most High was our original God.
Like what about in the Bible?
And he still is.
Before they started talking about Israel, when it was just Adam and Eve, they said they was in the garden.
Okay.
Like there was nothing called Israel then.
Yeah, exactly. We would, like what you say, with Islam, 5%. But listen. Hold on a second. Hold on, I'm giving you something. But the thing is this, right? Just like how with 5% they say they're the gods of the earth. Before it was Israel, we was known as the sons of God.
That's right.
We talked about that in Genesis 6.
Right.
We're known as the sons of God. That's what it was. Now, give me before you give me that, give me Amos 5 and 8.
You know,
Amos 5 and 8, because I know you mentioned about the medallion you got on, the stars and things of that nature. The Most High God told us way back not to even deal with that, not to associate ourselves with that.
But
because
even if I take it off,
it's still there. And I'm gonna give you something for that.
It's not just an image; it's lessons.
I'm gonna give you some, brother. I feel you, because I came from all that too.
Okay.
I feel you, bro. Yeah, give me that.
Amos chapter 5, verse 8. Seek him that maketh the 7 stars
Said what?
Seek him that maketh the 7 stars.
What number you got on there, brother? 7. What's next to it? A star. Read it again.
Seek him that maketh the 7 stars and Orion. And turneth the
Orion.
Orion.
The Orion's belt.
And turneth the shadow of death into the morning.
You see that, brother? So that's who we got to see. We got to seek him that created the 7 stars. And Orion's belt. That means the entire universe. That's the one that we look at. But when we start looking to graven images, give me that in Deuteronomy 4, I think 32, if I'm not mistaken. But if we start looking to these images, it's going to be a problem. That's where we fell off, brother. That's why we're in the condition that we're in. Right. You know what I'm saying? We all got to come on a right mind, right spirit. And we got to, this is the source. This is the source. This cannot be denied. This cannot be denied. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 25.
4:19. That's it.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
And lest thou lift up thine...
Go up. To 16.
Verse 16. Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image.
You see that? Lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image. So that's what he was going over in Habakkuk, right? That's considered a graven image because it's been carved. No, we cannot do that. That's there for signs. Right. That's what it's there for. For signs and seasons, for to let us know what season we're in and what's getting ready to come to the earth from the Most High. Right? Read. Right.
The similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth, and lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven.
And lest thou do what?
Lift up thine eyes unto heaven.
Unless you lift up your eyes to heaven, right? Read.
And when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven, shall be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided under all nations, under the whole heaven.
You see that? So the Most High God divided the sun, the moon, the stars, the whole entire earth, cosmos is what they call it. All right, there for us for signs and seasons. That's the only purpose why it's there for. We're not supposed to look up at these things and create images of it. That's the thing about it. So that's why when we brought up Habakkuk, we told you, hey, bro, you shouldn't have that on your neck. Because in the sight of the Most High God, that's what you're worshiping. Right. Brother, I understand what you're saying, that if you take it off, you're still going to be this, that, and the third. I got you. But still, when you have that on, that's an image. That's imagery. So that means when he was coming in about the teachers of lies, that's what it's talking about. Because when people wear those medallions like that, it gives them pride, it gives them hope. Right. You see what I'm saying? There may be a brother that was from last week that might have had heard a little bit about the 5%er, and it gave him some hope. When he see you walking down the street, and oh man, oh bro, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a problem for him. You know what I'm saying? To the Most High, it's going to be a considerable problem. Yes, so right. So I just wanted to bring that out to you, brother. I understand where you at. I got you. But this is the source here, and we don't prove it with the scriptures. And these things been here way before 1964. All right?
That's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. You speaking on 1964, but
even before that.
Right.
Even before that.
When we went on to this, you already know the laws we practice, right?
Okay.
Where me and the bread was saying, I supposed to back up. The bread was saying something, and what you was giving the knowledge on how the people compiled the
because you had asked how the Bible was written.
Right. The knowledge was already here before these books, man. Before.
Gotta prove that. Huh? Can you prove it?
Well, all them Bibles got dates on them.
No, can you prove what you're saying? The stuff that you're saying predates this.
Knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
Yeah. Show us the proof.
Yeah. It was here before the book. It took that to make that book.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. We can say that say that this predates what you're saying, and then we got the proof, which is here. Yeah, but
you got to show us the proof. There's already people on earth before the book came about.
Brother,
practicing this thing, yo.
I understand. I got you.
If for example, if you don't know how to hunt, how you gonna feed your family? Okay. That's knowledge. You know what I'm saying? People feeding themselves before this came up. Hey, I ain't here to bash what y'all saying. What I really wanted to get was the laws that y'all practicing to help a brother come a better person. That's you know what I'm saying? What's y'all core teaching? Like,
hey, check this out. Give me Genesis 2:7 real quick. Watch this. Give me Genesis 2:7.
Because I can go off and say, yo, the brothers down the street, they teaching this, they teaching that. You know what I'm saying? And
Now, I'm gonna ask you something.
Maybe the sparks on there.
Let me ask you something. You know something about the Bible, right? From Genesis to Deuteronomy, who wrote those books?
Genesis to Deuteronomy.
Uh-huh.
That was the book of Moses, right?
It was the book of Moses, right? Now, I'm gonna ask you something. Was Moses during the time of Adam and Eve?
Nah.
Nah, so how did he know what happened back then? Give me Genesis 2 and 7.
Bring it out. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground.
No, he said he formed.
Like really, how did he know that?
I'm about to answer your
Can
question.
he write a book?
I'm about to answer your question. I got you. I'm about to answer your question. He said, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, then did what?
And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
Now hold that. Give me Proverbs 7 and 2. So now, the information that he had gave Adam, once he had made him, right? He had to give him information that he had already finished, that was already there, right? This is before the book was written, right?
Then when you like
Because
the way you talking now, like I would have to ask you, yo, show and prove.
I'm about to show you right now. That's exactly what I'm doing. Watch.
Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2.
Because he said he gave him the breath of life.
That's Moses' understanding though. I'm talking about like,
No. What he had got, I'm about to show you that. That's what I'm doing with these scriptures, right? The breath of life that he had, gave Adam was this. Read.
Keep my commandments. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2. Keep my commandments and live.
He said, keep my commandments and live. In other words, that's that breath. Once he gave life, he's like, that. Keep my commandments and live. That's what he gave Adam, right? Now, it was the commandments. Now, with Moses, give me 2 Ezra 14.
Bring it up.
Give me 2 Ezra 14, so that one.
Bring it up. 2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me.
Now, are you familiar with? I'm gonna go back to Moses for a second. You familiar what actually happened with Moses before he went to save the Israelites?
About him killing the man?
After that, I want to say it's after that.
Yeah. After he killed the man, he left.
Yeah. Okay, he left. Yeah. But then, how did he get to know who the Lord was? What was the Lord's first way to reveal himself to him? It's gonna say it, but I want to see if you with me.
I mean,
he revealed. You remember the burning bush?
Yeah, that's the highest of his pinnacle I could think of when he went to the mountain and got to think of man.
Okay, well, yes, I'm actually getting to that, right? But I'm talking about before that, he actually went to a burning bush. He's like, I'm gonna turn aside and I'm gonna see what this wonderful thing is, right? Go ahead, watch this.
And said, Esdras, and I said, here am I, Lord.
So this is the prophet Ezra, E-Z-R-A-S. Go ahead.
And I stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses.
So in the bush I revealed myself unto Moses, right? Go ahead.
And talked with him when my people served in Egypt.
So now, when they served in Egypt, he had talked with Moses as to what's going to happen, what Moses would have to do in order to save Israel, right? Go ahead.
And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mountain Sinai.
So he brought him up into the mountain, right? So now, this is how he actually wrote those books in which he didn't live during those times. It's about to say it. Listen close.
Where I held him by me a long season.
Which is how many days? You remember how many days he was bound?
Yeah, a long.
He said he held, read again?
And held him by me a long season.
You know how many days he held Moses?
I can't remember.
40 days, 40 nights, right? He held him 40 days and it wasn't up there just getting 10 commandments for 40 days and 40 nights.
Right.
He wasn't up there just getting 10 commandments. Watch, it's gonna say it.
And told him many wondrous things.
So the many wondrous things. Guess what some of those things are? From Genesis 1 and 1 all the way to the last chapter and verse of Deuteronomy. And more. Read.
And showed him the secrets of the times.
Showed him the secrets of the times, how things were made. That's how it says in Genesis 1. Let there be light. He made the moon. He made the stars.
Right.
He made the earth. Right. That's what he said. The secrets of the times, things that everybody don't know. Hold on. This is the proof. This is your proof right here.
If you told me that happened to you, I probably.
It's not meant for this time. It already happened.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And the end.
And he told him what's going to happen at the latter end. What we're going through now, Moses saw this already. Right. He saw the end. He saw Christ coming back to judge this planet.
That's right.
Read.
And commanded him, saying, these words shalt thou declare.
So the ones that we're declaring, that's the ones that we're able to understand. That's the ones like, for example, Deuteronomy 28. We are the Israelites. We shouldn't actually have graven images. The stars don't worship that. Worship the Lord God of heaven and earth. The creation of the planet. Things that were there before the planet was made, he learned that.
Right.
That information, that old information before the book was written.
Right.
Read.
And these shalt thou hide.
In the parables, the things that are harder to understand, that's the stuff that you hide. Everybody ain't meant to understand that.
Right.
That's what he's talking about. Go ahead.
And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I showed thee, and the dreams that thou hast seen.
So now, that's all I wanted. Now, are you with me so far? Moses wrote those books, and he wasn't in that time. I got to emphasize that part, because you mentioned that there's information that was before this book. I say true, but Moses had it already, and then he rewrit it. He rewritten that stuff inside of here. Then later on in time, 1611, those 47 that I was talking about, they had got the scrolls of all of the prophets and the teachers, put those together, and then compounded what we read today called the Bible.
That's right.
That's what happened. So this information is very old. This is the beginning of information. Give me Baruch 3:36.
Hey, Abraham.
Yes, sir.
Go to Exodus 33.
Exodus 33.
Yeah.
What verse we're looking at? Exodus 33:12.
Exodus chapter 33, verse 12, verse 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to
He
face.
spoke unto Moses face to face. Hey, everybody did not get that privilege that Moses had to speak to the Lord face to face.
That's right.
Go ahead.
As a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle.
Right, so he talked to Moses face to face. That's the part right there. And it calls God inside the Bible the Ancient of Days.
That's right.
Before days even got started, he was there.
Right.
So you got somebody who was before time, before information started, telling a man information already there as wisdom. That's what it's called, it's wisdom.
Right.
That's this information right here. That's the Bible.
Right.
That's the Bible. That's the prophecy. That's the laws. The laws is the prophecy. This right here is the beginning of information. That's what we've been trying to bring out. Luke 3:36.
Bring it out.
3:36 real quick. And then after this, I'm gonna get some laws, because I don't want you to leave out here. Now, one of the laws I brought out was about the graven image. That is one law. Okay, whether you agree or not, it's just what's written. Okay. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 36. He hath found out all the ways of knowledge.
He found out all the ways of knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Right? Go ahead.
And have given it unto Jacob his servant.
And giving it to Jacob his servant.
And to Israel his beloved.
So every bit of knowledge known on the planet ever existed came to these 12 right here.
Right.
It came to us. It didn't go to Islam. It didn't go to Egyptology. It ain't go to nobody else but the nation of Israel.
Right.
And the only way you're going to achieve such knowledge is if you acknowledge who you are and who your Lord is.
Right.
That's the only way. Give me a commandment, then we shut it down. Give me numbers. I want numbers. Matter of fact, no. Give me Exodus 20 and the first commandment. Worship no other God before me. That's the one I want. Then we'll close it out.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So he said, don't worship no other gods. But now that's literal, but it also goes into things you put before the Lord God of Israel.
Right.
Read.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
So he said, you shall not make no graven images. This is the top 10. This is the top. Go ahead.
Or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above.
So this is what Officer was just bringing out, right? In Deuteronomy. He said, don't make any other images, anything that's a likeness above or what?
Or that is in the earth beneath.
And guess what that image that's the likeness above? He said, don't make any images of the stars to say that you're going to worship those. Come on.
Or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
In other words, you ain't literally going like bowing yourself to it sometimes, right? Sometimes it's yielding all of your soul and your body towards that thing. That's what it's going into. Don't yield yourself towards other doctrines outside of what the Lord said that you have to do.
Right.
That's what he's saying. So, Psalms 96 and 5, then close it out.
Psalms 96, verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
So all the gods that's outside of what this book is talking about are idols.
Right.
Dumb idols at that.
That's right.
Go ahead.
But the Lord made the heavens.
But the Lord God of Israel made the heavens and the earth and the knowledge. All right? And with that,
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.